The betrayals in Squid Game weren't just shocking, they were familiar. Sang-woo turning on Ali wasn't just strategy, it was heartbreak. It was what happens when someone you trusted decides they want to win more than they want to protect you. But this isn't just a show, it's a mirror, because some of us are playing that same game right now. What if the deadliest game isn't happening in a secret underground arena? What if it's happening in your life? That one friend who always makes you feel a little smaller, the one who vanishes when you need them, the one who smiles when you fail, but frowns when you succeed. They're not playing for cash, they're playing for control, and your soul is the prize. But what if you had a secret playbook, one written long before Squid Game existed? Thousands of years ago, Greek philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle faced the same human games: betrayal, loyalty, power. They didn't need masks. They saw the truth in human character, and they wrote the rules for surviving it. This isn't about violence, it's about clarity, and it starts with knowing what kind of game you're in. Long before betrayal went viral on streaming platforms, Aristotle was already studying the psychology behind it. He said there are only 3 kinds of friendships, but only one is real. The other 2, they're fragile, short-lived, and everywhere in Squid Game. The first is a friendship of utility, purely transactional. You're useful to each other until you're not. Think of Sang-woo and Ali. Ali offered strength, Sang-woo offered strategy. But when sacrifice became more useful than loyalty, Ali was eliminated. Then there's the friendship of pleasure. It's fun, for now. The party crew, the weekend laughs, but change the mood, and they vanish. But Aristotle believed in something greater. Friendship of virtue, built not on what you can get, but on who you both are. It's rare, rooted in character, formed by shared values, and it's the only bond that survives pressure. We hurt when others betray us, because we mistook utility for virtue. Before you can spot a toxic friend, you have to understand your own reflection. Socrates called it the first and highest rule: know thyself. Because how can you set boundaries if you don't know where you begin and end? Most people never ask the real questions, and toxic people thrive in that fog. What do you actually need in a friend? Loyalty, honesty, quiet support. What drains you the fastest? Drama, passive aggression, emotional games. The ancient Greeks warned, an unexamined friendship is built on sand. If you don't define what matters, someone else will. When you know your values, you build invisible armor. You stop apologizing for your peace. You stop justifying your standards. And toxic people, they feel it. Your clarity makes you unreadable to manipulators, untouchable to users, unplayable in their game. Socrates didn't give answers, he gave questions, because wisdom begins in knowing you.
This is Timeless Mind, where ancient wisdom clears modern chaos.
Before we talk about cutting people off, let's pause. Because every good story has a twist, and sometimes you're not just the player, you're the problem. Even the ancient Greeks didn't pretend they were saints. They believed every soul had a shadow. Have you ever stayed in a friendship just for convenience? Ghosted someone when they had nothing left to offer? Used charm to get what you needed? We all have moments we're not proud of. That's not cruelty. That's unconsciousness. And unconsciousness is where toxicity grows. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. Because the moment you see your pattern, you can stop it. You can stop replaying survival, stop mirroring manipulation, and choose, finally, to be the kind of friend you've been looking for. Player type 1, the pragmatist, calculated, conditional, charismatic. Like Sang-woo, they're loyal until they're not. They help you climb, but they're already eyeing the ladder above you. If sacrificing you gives them an edge, they'll do it, and call it just being practical. The ancient Greeks called this false virtue. It looks like friendship, but it's only ever a deal. Player type 2, the manipulator. Their weapon isn't logic, it's emotion. They create drama to stay in control. Cry one day, rage the next. They'll guilt you into staying close, then punish you the second you try to breathe. Mino in Squid Game was chaos incarnate, but emotional control wrapped in chaos? It's more common than you think. Player type 3, the user. They don't hide it. They take your time, your energy, your kindness, and offer nothing back. Like Deoksu, intimidating, blunt, and shameless. You're not a friend to them. You're a vending machine, and they'll keep pressing buttons until it's empty. You don't need to confront every Sang-woo. Just reclassify them. They're not enemies. They're not allies. They're transactions. Stop giving them the currency of intimacy. Don't share your dreams with people who track their ROI. That's not friendship. That's exposure. With emotional manipulators, clarity is your scalpel. You don't owe chaos an explanation. You owe yourself ataraxia, inner peace. Say less. Detach faster. I can't hold this right now is a full sentence. You're not being cold. You're protecting your soul. You don't have to explain boundaries to Deoksu. You just stop feeding the machine. Take longer to reply. Be unavailable. Redirect your energy. A friendship based on taking will collapse. The moment you stop offering yourself up. That's not ghosting. That's evolution. The ancient Greeks didn't chase popularity. They cultivated character. Aristotle said that true friendship is grounded in virtue. Not fun, not favors, but in shared goodness. A relationship where both souls grow together. They called it eunoia, goodwill, not toward your image, but toward your essence. A real friend shows up when you've got nothing to give. They celebrate your joy without competing and stay steady when storms come. Plato said, only those who know the good can be true companions, because when crisis hits, fun fades, usefulness fades, but character stays. Think of your circle like a garden. It doesn't need to be big, just nourished. Don't settle for attention. Look for arete, excellence of soul. People who see your flaws and choose you anyway, not for what you give, but for who you're becoming. Squid Game made one thing clear. Pick the wrong team, and you lose everything. But the ancient Greeks weren't focused on survival. They were focused on the soul. The point isn't to win the game, it's to outgrow it. The real prize? It's not dominance, it's eudaimonia. A life aligned with your values, your clarity, your peace. Aristotle said, the good for man is an activity of the soul in accordance with virtue. Not the loudest winds, not the biggest circle, not the flashiest confidence, but quiet alignment, character in action, and a circle that reflects, not corrupts, your values. When you clear the wrong players and build your circle with intention, you don't just win, you become unplayable, because your soul isn't a prize in someone else's game. It's a sanctuary, and no one gets access without earning it. You're not the only one who's felt drained by people you once called friends. You're not the only one who's questioned yourself or wondered if you were the problem. But now you see the pattern. You've got the ancient playbook, and that means you can start again with clarity, with courage, with people who honor your growth. So take one small step today, set a boundary, Ask a question. Walk away from a draining bond. You're not being cold. You're coming home to yourself. Which toxic player have you faced? The pragmatist? The manipulator? The user? Drop it in the comments, because someone else might need your story today. And if this helped you sharpen your inner circle, subscribe to Timeless Mind by Nikolaos. Each week we explore ancient wisdom to win the only game that matters, the one for your own soul.